And our final movie of tonight is the 1934 classic, directed by...
And 1956.
Yes, we will get to why in a second. Directed by the legendary director Alfred Hitchcock, The Man Who Knew Too Much. Now, bear with me here. I kind of watched the 1934 original while my two colleagues here watched the 1956 remake, so please bear with me. We might have different opinions because they're kind of different because it was remade. But I am going to talk about the 34 original right now. As you know, like I just said, it was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. It's one of his more earlier films, and this movie actually was one of the few original ones that propelled him to his superstardom as a director and led him to direct such classics as North by Northwest, The Birds, and Psycho. This movie stars Leslie Banks, Edna Best, Frank Vosper, and Peter Lorre. I'm actually a closet fan of Peter Lorre also, just want to mention that. Came out in December of 1934. The budget, I did find this online. I didn't look at Wikipedia because it didn't show it for some reason, I guess because it was an old movie. But I looked it up online. It was a $40,000 budget. The box office was exactly $759,856 at the time, 34 at the time. And it has an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, so this is a worthwhile movie. The movie's plot follows Leslie Banks' character as he is vacationing in Switzerland with his family, and he meets this man named Louis Bernard. And later on, like towards basically kind of the beginning of the movie, Louis Bernard gets assassinated, and he tells what was his name? Leslie Banks' character a shocking secret. We kind of don't know what it is at first, but then these foreign agents kidnap Leslie Banks' daughter and refuse to give her up unless he commends with their demands. And he needs to rescue her as well as exposing these men.
All right, quick jump in right here.
I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I just want to say one thing. 1956 version. So far, the difference in what I'm hearing, it sounds like the same plot, but it was a son instead of a daughter.
It did have a $1 million budget that time.
Yeah.
And only made $11 million.
That makes sense. It was like maybe 20 years afterwards.
It was, but like I'm saying, so far the only difference I've heard is it's a son instead of a daughter. It sounds like the same thing. I just want to say something I'm surprised about. Hitchcock remaking his own movie. Who does that?
I know, right?
That's like I make a movie like 20 years later, like, you know what? I could do that again.
He's
I
like,
could do better.
Yeah, I could do that better. He got James Stewart, the second Stewart's.
James Stewart,
which is a great actor. If you don't like him,
I need to check the 56 remake out. That was the initial one, but I kind of watched the 34 on accident, I guess.
I love the movie from 56, but you can continue in a second.
Yeah, go ahead. You can say what you want to say about 56.
I do like James Stewart. I keep saying his name wrong. What was it? Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Of course, A Wonderful Life. Those are two of his bigger movies.
Wonderful Life I've seen. It's a good movie.
In this movie, was it in color for you? Well,
the 34 original? No, it was
the
black
56. Actually, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be in color. I watched it in a colored version where they.
Yeah, the remake I believe is in color. I believe.
I don't think they had color in 56 though.
Well, they did.
I thought that was in the early 60s.
North by Northwest was in color.
They may have redone it in color, though. They've done color. In color
so there's some.
All right, but you can continue with the story. If there's anything from 56, I'll bring it in.
Yeah, I know. Like there might be scenes you guys don't, might have not be in the remake, but I'll just bring them up either way, just for people that might have seen this movie or are interested in seeing this film. I like the idea of the assassination, this man learning these secrets, and he's just there to take a vacation, and he just learns these secrets, and he's like, wait, why are you telling me these things? And then his daughter gets kidnapped by these foreign agents, headed by Peter Lorre, who was in The Maltese Falcon, a very underrated classic film that I really like. Peter Lorre is a good villain. I love that guy. He's a good actor. But the kidnapped daughter storyline of that movie, it added a lot of intrigue to it. There were some good action scenes. There was this action scene where they were throwing chairs at each other kind of quickly. It was over the top. It was exciting. It was entertaining. A scene where Leslie Banks' character, the main character, was a dentist that was basically kind of corrupt because he was part of the foreign agent group, the syndicate. And the foreign agents, I basically wanted the dentist to put him on sleeping gas, but he was unaware of it. But he had the idea of it, and then he ended up taking out the dentist and putting him out with sleeping gas. I thought that was exciting. That was a good scene. Favorite scene of mine, probably.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Dialogue was pretty good. I liked what they were saying. A really good action scene at the end where one of the guys in there, one of the goons, is on top of the building with the daughter. The daughter's like crying. She's trying to get out of there, but they're gonna kill her. They're pretty much bloodthirsty killers in the 30s. You know, this is really different from the movies you get today. You know,
it was a little bit different in the 50s. Different.
How did you guys see it?
Guy.
I want to hear what you were saying.
I actually do know a little bit about the 30s one, apparently.
What I do?
But well, the 50s one, personally, with them taking the son. And that's a little bit different than the daughter.
I feel like Hitchcock was like, let's make one with the daughter, and then we'll do one with the son. Why
yeah,
not? Let's just see how good that. Let's see how it turns out.
I do like the part on the rooftop where he shoves him off to his death, the assassin. Is that in your version?
In the 34 one, the wife of the Leslie Banks' character, she actually in the beginning of the movie, she's part of like a gun shooting contest, and that guy is actually part of it too. There's like a sharpshooting contest, so she actually shoots and kills that guy because he did something in the beginning of the movie that really pissed her off.
Explain how the ending really made sense with the story.
Yeah, how did yours end? Was it the exact same?
Basically, that one guy, he got shot off the building. Daughter stayed alive. Ended up getting returned to her parents. Peter Lorre, he ended up committing suicide. But the way that's how I read on Wikipedia. But when I saw the movie, he got shot, and I'm like, wait a minute, he killed himself? What Wikipedia? You can never trust them these days. So it's good that I saw the film. Obviously, he got shot by a cop, and then he fell to his death. But I kind of wish that they actually did more with his character. I mean, he's a good actor. The Maltese Falcon is a must watch. He's a lot better in that film. But they didn't really do much with his character in that movie. But if they had more of an opportunity to kind of expose his character more to Leslie Banks and probably also his wife and the daughter, because mostly it was with the goons, especially that one guy who got shot off at the end, because he was like the main goon pretty much. It would have obviously gotten a higher rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Obviously, probably been one
in
of
the 50s one, he accidentally shot himself.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
They were struggling.
He got shot.
It was kind of jokingly, and they were struggling, and then he shot himself and killed himself. And Ben, that was his name. Yeah, I think it was Ben. He went to the other people, and he's like, "So sorry it took so long."
Might have been his name in the original. They
Ben. No, it was Hal who. What am I saying? Hank. My bad. Hank who killed himself.
Yeah, I said Ben went after that to go.
Yeah, Ben was the one.
Go back to the couple that they were with. Yeah. So, what would you guys rate this film?
I'll go first since I'll do the original. I give this a 7 out of 10. I don't understand why people think that this movie really did jumpstart Hitchcock's career. I mean, this is what I've read online. Hear me out here. What they said about that. I said this earlier. I read online that this movie apparently is the movie responsible for jumpstarting Hitchcock's career when he started out as a director. I honestly didn't even know that he was a director in the 30s. I thought he started around the 50s with Psycho. North by Northwest.
Psycho 1960?
60, like around that time, like the mid-50s.
So maybe the reason he remade the film is because he was paying homage to himself, and he was like...
He wanted to show it to a newer audience, I guess. Like, maybe we don't want to see it in black. We want to see a newer version in color, you know.
It doesn't seem like the kind of movie that would get a remake, though.
I don't understand why it got remade. I mean, the title, The Man Who Knew Too Much, you would expect it to be such an entertaining film, but it did have a lot of slow pace.
It almost sounds like a Bond film, The Man Who Knew Too Much.
It does.
The man with the golden gun.
Meant to be in that.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
I'm pretty sure Leslie Banks, the main character in my version, he died, I think, a couple years after this movie came out. I mean... Who even cares about this guy? This guy was boring. I didn't like this guy. I mean,
no, James Bond, I expect you to die.
That's a good quote.
What movie is that from?
I don't remember. Maybe Goldfinger?
Yes.
All right. But I don't care about Leslie Banks. Peter Lorre is really the only saving grace of this movie.
Yeah, I heard it was
a boring movie, and I only liked it when there was...
I thought you said you really liked it.
I liked the action scenes and the dentist scene. But aside from that, the dialogue was interesting.
I liked
the kid next door was good. But it just, other than that, when they were just talking about like random other stuff, I got so bored. I was like, wait a minute, what's this? They go into like a church and they're just listening to stuff. And I was like, what the hell?
So Chris, what would you rate it?
I would rate it. I want to say just because I feel it deserves it. I guess it'll still be my quote unquote personal rating. 7 out of 10. For the 56 at least. I was very close to 6 out of 10, but I feel it deserves higher than Friday the 13th Part 2. So
yeah, I would prefer this over Part 2. Yeah,
I feel like that'd be pretty different.
And surprisingly, Love and Air Sex was your least favorite movie that we watched.
Yes, it was.
I would
That's
put
very
this,
surprising.
I put this over Love and Air
I'll give it
Part
a
2.
A 7.
Clue is without a doubt the best of the 4. It really was. It really
I'll
was.
definitely give it a 7. I think, yeah, parts of the movie weren't exactly interesting, but it kept going to a place where the scene on the balcony and then the scene in, I think, the stairway. I thought both of those scenes were fantastically shot by Alfred Hitchcock, and I got to give him props for remaking a movie and then still making it pretty good.
I think Hitchcock is like the only director I know that's actually remade his own movie. Can't think of any other
Glad he
directors.
mixed it up a little bit. Not the
Yeah.
same exact thing 50 years. I mean,
Yeah,
not
it's
50,
pulling
20
like a
years
shot-for-shot remake. Like,
it was pretty. It wasn't
The guy who made Friday the 13th, if he had the opportunity, he would probably, they offered him the reboot, he's like, all right, but we're doing the same movie. We're not rebooting, it's a remake.
We're not putting Jason in this movie. We're just going to keep his mom there. Everybody loved his mom.
Was his mom in the reboot?
At the beginning, like they do a cutscene. They do a cutscene. We do a cut. They do a cutscene at the beginning where she gets her head cut
All right,
off.
we'll get back to that one when we
like
finally
a couple
watch
months
it.
from now, probably.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the last one. But they are actually making a sequel to it, so that's coming, I believe, next year.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
All right,